video in Unit 0, Lesson 3. Be it for Unit 0. Why we solve equations. Okay, why even do all of this? Well, the reason we do it and the reason it's important is because an equation states two expressions that are equal. For example, x plus 3 equals 8. What this equation is saying is not a calculation as much. I don't want you to think about it that way. I want you to think of it as a question. And the question is when is it true? What x makes this true? And what it means to solve is to think about what plus what equals 8. And a helpful mind frame for you is to think that this equal sign is representative of a scale. So I like to think about it this way. So when we have a scale, all right, so we have a scale and it is balancing here, and on this side you have x plus 3, and on this side you have 8. So as we proceed through algebra, you'll learn that you have to balance the equation, and anything you do to one side, you must do to the other. So I'm gonna repeat that and write it down. What you do to one side, you must do to the other. Little abbreviation there. Must do to the other. Okay, I'm not going to get into the weeds of what that means, but keep that in mind. What we do to one side, we must do to the other, and what we want to do is strike a balance on this scale. So you may be asking yourself at this point, I talked a little bit about what equations can do, but they didn't actually answer why we solve equations. Well, the reason we really solve equations is to answer questions. Okay? To answer questions. To model real situations. To find unknowns. And to put some real world application to it, let's talk. When we're talking real world, we're talking about how many, equations help you solve how many, how much, helps you solve questions like how long. These are some of the real world applications of equations. So, with that said, and that's a brief conceptual introduction to all of this, okay? And now I want you to think about one thing, and I can solve this equation that we have here, x plus 3 equals 8. I know that this x is a 5 plus 3 equals 8. Okay, 5 plus 3. I know that 5 goes there, and we have techniques to find these when it gets more complicated, but I just know that the left side must be equal to the right side, as we've seen over here. So that is the big picture on why we solve equations. On the next, we're going to get into Unit 1, and we're going to start talking about the real number system. All right, until next time.